passarinho na janela e o fusquinha na calçada.
Hi! Today we are going to be making something a little bit more adventurous. My mom recently came up with this recipe and she's been raving about it, so I'm going to give it a try. This is a very common ingredient in Chinese cuisine, pork hock, which is the upper thigh part of a pig. It's kind of like German roasted pork hock, but Asian style. So let's get started. First step we're going to do is to prepare the hock for marinating. We're going to make parallel slits all around the bone, which is right in the center. So you need kind of a sturdier knife. Now we've done this, we are going to rotate it and then we're going to cut them lengthwise. The trick here is to make sure that you leave enough gap between the pieces so that the meat doesn't fall off. What I'm going to do is to basically follow the bone and to make sure that each time I cut, I don't overlap the intersection. Alright, we're finished. For a pork hock that's about this size, I've made about 7 slits. And you can see that all of the pieces are fully intact, but they're very well separated. It's important that you cut all the way to the bone, otherwise it won't open up as nicely. Now we are going to boil it very quickly to get rid of that natural stinkiness of the pork. Have a pot of cold water ready. You're going to make sure that there's enough water to cover it, and then we're going to bring it to a boil. To assist with the process of getting rid of that stinkiness, we're also going to add in half a cup of rice wine. And we're waiting for it to just come to a boil, and then you'll see it get foamy. That's immediately when we're going to take it off. Now we're going to preheat the oven to 400. And it should be ready just as we are ready later. You see that it's coming to a boil and the foaming is happening. I'm going to just flip it upside down so that the top also has a chance to be fully covered. Okay, now we are going to rinse this off under some cold tap water to stop it from cooking. We're ready for marinating. We are going to put our pork hock on a plate and drizzle on a good amount of soy sauce, about like a tablespoon, I would say. And this is just a normal soy sauce, not the dark one. And just make sure that it's covered everywhere. This is our base seasoning. I kind of see this as a wet rub, and then it's going to be coated by a dry rub as well. You will need salt, dried parsley, chili powder, Sichuan numbing pepper, brown sugar, and some soy sauce. Okay, we're going to give the pork hock a generous sprinkle of the delicious spice mix on both sides. This spice mix is so fragrant. Even just now, I can smell how delicious this is. Okay, we're going to use up all of our spice mix, so just make sure you get into the nooks and crannies.弟弟，你小时候吃的猪蹄是不是就这样？
没这么好吃，没这么多 spice。
We're going to let this sit and marinate for about 15 minutes before we bake it. 这个配什么吃？能不能做点汤？中午配点汤。
是，我是想给你做米饭要有。
可以啊。It's been 15 minutes. We are going to now transfer the pork hock into a aluminum foiled container for baking. We're going to seal this so the pork hock stays as tender as possible. But first, we're going to pour in this marinade. For this size, we're going to bake for around 1 hour. If it's any bigger, you might want to go 1 hour, 20 minutes. But you can totally open it and check it out. So We are going to pop it in, 400 degrees, and then set a timer, an hour to start. Now that's ready, we are going to take it out and finish it off with a little bit of honey. Ooh. You can see that there is all these liquid that came out of the pork hock. To finish it off, we are going to make a sweet honey-based sauce on top, and we're going to broil it. So the first thing we're going to do is to just pour out the liquid. To make the sauce, we are going to take 2 tablespoons of the liquid and then add in half the amount of honey. You can just estimate, it doesn't really matter. Our goal is to make a semi-sticky kind of sauce to coat our pork with. We're going to let it broil for about 2 minutes and then we will flip it over. Be very careful, usually broil is over 500 degrees so it can burn very easily with the honey. We're going to flip this over. Now we're going to brush the back side as before. I'm going to pop it in for the last time. I'm going to finish it off by brushing a little bit more right in the oven. This will just make the top a little bit shinier. I'm going to just transfer this onto a plate. Look at that color. Wow. I can't wait to taste a bite. It's very, very hot though. Little extra sauce to finish. We've let it cool down a little bit and now it's just warm enough to hold. I'm going to take a knife and slice down the meat. You can save the bone for a broth. I would just add in some celery, carrots, and some potatoes, and I think that would be really delicious on the side.
Passarinho na janela e o fusquinha na calçada.
We're going to give it a try now. The skin is very, very good. It has a nice chew and all the flavor is all soaked up in the skin. And it doesn't actually taste quite fatty despite it looking like it's a lot of the gelatinous part.
很好吃 chewy.
I like the flavor a lot. It's actually not spicy at all in my opinion. I think this is a great amount of, I think this is a great heat level. It's so good. Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.